Alright, shalom, shalom, first and foremost, once I go, I'm Yahweh, Shema, Shabbat, Shema, Hakodash, the honestly, I was an apostle of the most time Jesus, for two who won't teach well. I want to get into a little bit of this, Leviticus, the 20th chapter. Also, if I didn't say it already, Shabbat, Shalom. So, really want to talk about Leviticus 20 going to, I might start from the top, right? The Lord speaking to Moses, saying, again, thou shalt say to the children of Israel, whosoever he be of the children of Israel, or the strangers that sojourn in Israel, that giveth any of his seed unto Moloch, he shall surely be put to death. The people of the land shall stone him with stones. Right now, you should know about Moloch, god of the Ammonites, which I think is like Moloch. God of the Ammonites, Phoenicians to him, Israelites sacrificed the infants in the valley Hinnom. Right. Human sacrifices. According to the rabbins, the statue was of brass with a human form, but the head of an ox. It was hollow within and heated from below, and the children to be sacrificed were cast in his arms. In like manner, the statue of Saturn among the Carthaginians, described by Diodorus, compared Monter. Right, the Moloch of the Ammonites and the Saturn of the Carthaginians represented the planet Saturn, which was regarded by the phonetic Shemitic nations as whatever that is, to be appeased by human sacrifices. Right, so, yeah. All these things, the gods of the nations are demons, right? So they worship demons, and they deal with demons, and they deal with the left hand, right? We don't engage with that stuff. We're not supposed to. Right, he shall surely be put to death. The people of the land shall stone him with stones. Right, and this is stuff that was supposed to happen. But people were going off and they were doing this stuff. Right, now again today, people do their own human sacrifices. With all this abortion stuff, and it's kind of there's nothing new under the sun. It's come back. Through Planned Parenthood and all this stuff, and it goes to show, our righteousness of, filthy rags, even when we want to have sex, we can't support having massive families in this society, and the women are all wicked, right? So you don't even want to give these women no kids anyway. Right, so you wrap yourself up, and also to protect you. These women got all kinds of diseases and shit wrong with them because they pass around this shit like candy, right? And I will set my face against that man, right? His power, right? Will cut him off among his people because he had given of his seed unto Moloch, to defile my sanctuary and to profane my holy name, right? So that's what you're doing, that's what our people do on a massive scale. I think the statistics, I believe it's black women that do it the most, right? And that the people of the land do any ways hide their eyes from the man when he giveth of the seed to Moloch and kill him not. Now I'll set my face against that man and against his family, and will cut him off. Now they go whoring after him to commit whoredom with Moloch from among their people. Right, so if you don't, bring judgment upon that man, you try to say, oh, well, he's a nice guy, right? He goes to his face against you, right? What is it? Oh, I know, I'm thinking about follow not a multitude to do evil. Right, that's what we're supposed to do. Right, and then there was something else that don't don't pretty much pervert justice. Pretty much, you see something's wrong, you're supposed to, say it. Say, hey, this is, you know, what you're doing is wrong, and we do that in the truth, man. We don't give anybody out here no free passes. If you're making, mockery of this thing, if you're causing division, we mark you, right? If you're teaching the wrong thing, we'll tell you you're teaching the wrong thing, and if you don't humble down, then you gon' you gonna get it, man. The Lord sets His face on you, sets His face against you, right? And you get judgments towards the house of Israel, right? And you can see that shit. What happened with Sakari, which I haven't heard anything about Sakari. I know they made a video, Sakari in shambles, like clickbaity. I guess they trying to save face, right? But you'll never catch any of our elders and apostles in no scandal like that, right? Ever. In the 20 years they've been out, no scandals whatsoever, right? And I mean, I'm not trying to say that, hey, none of us are perfect, right? But like, our elders don't get caught with things like that, right? Our righteousness is filthy rags. So I'm not trying to say, on some holier than thou stuff, but they don't want to be humble. They don't want to humble down. And the soul that turneth after such as have familiar spirits and after wizards to go whoring after them, I will even set my face against that soul and will cut him off from his people. Right? And what I noticed, because with my job, I travel a lot, all over the place. But, as I was traveling, what I did notice I see a lot, especially like Manhattan for sure, but I think I've seen it like in Brooklyn too. There's these different tarot places. I haven't traveled around in Queens like that as of yet, but usually Brooklyn, Manhattan. But I've seen tarot cards, man. People with these familiar spirits and all these witchcraft and stuff like that. It's all over the place. And even if you go onto YouTube, you got people that do like tarot readings and all these different witchcraft things on the internet. Sanctify yourselves therefore and be holy, for I am the Lord your power, Yahweh. Ye shall keep my statutes and do them, and the Lord will sanctify you. For everyone that curseth his father and his mother shall surely be put to death. He that curseth his father and his mother, his blood shall be upon him. Right? Now, going to the word curseth, they say, qualal. Let's see if I can get my Hebrew binder. Trying to be a little bit more thorough. Qualal. Right, it's a primitive root. To be swift, to be trifling, lightly steamed, cursed, shake oneself, to treat with contempt, bring contempt or dishonor, despise, beated, to be vile, curse, despise, right? It's all these different things, right? You're not supposed to curse and treat with contempt and, like vileness to your parents, right? And I mean, every brother has different, lots with their parents, You may not even be able to keep in contact with your parents. They might just be so damn demonic, right? But, of course there's also a difference when, because, some parents, like moms, they want to try to tell you what to do, like how long you can stay out the house, and like when you get to a certain age, like, you know, they really can't, you know, like you leave and then you know what I mean, you go out and then you come back. I mean, you're a man at that point, right? But with certain things, I mean, you just make peace with them. If at all possible, be at peace with all men. And a man that committeth adultery with another man's wife, even that committeth adultery with his neighbor's wife, the adulterer and adulterer shall surely be put to death. And it's something that's very, you know, common in this society, right? So let's just look at the word adultery, because I know it's in Proverbs somewhere, right? Whoso committeth adultery, Proverbs 6:32. Whoso committeth adultery with a woman lacketh understanding. He that doeth it destroyeth his own soul, right? And I saw for all the causes whereby black Israel committed adultery, I put her away, right? In a spiritual sense, giving her bill of divorce. Yet treacherous sister Judah feared not, but went and played the harlot also, right? To commit spiritual adultery, followers of the gods. And Lord gave them a bill of divorce and had their asses put down, right? Israel, the northern kingdom, you know, they got shipped out, you know, to different parts of Syria, you know, Tigris, Euphrates River, those kind of areas. And, you know, eventually they left out and came to Arshrif, like it says in the 2nd Esdras, the 13th chapter, which is America. If you look it up on the Jewish Encyclopedia, even they admit that that's what it is, right? So it is what it is. And Arshrif means another land in Hebrew. Arat is Akaroth. Yeah, do not commit adultery, and do not commit adultery, yeah. And a man that life his father's wife, right? So, one of your father's wife, whether it's your mother or not, covet his father's nakedness, both of them shall be put to death, their blood shall be upon them. I believe of King David, I think one of his sons slept with one of his wives, which is wicked, you know, and that same son, I think it was Absalom or something. He got put to death. I don't remember who killed him. I know it wasn't King David, but someone put him to death. If a man lie with his daughter-in-law, both of them shall be put to death. They have wrought confusion, their blood shall be upon them. If a man also lie with mankind, his life with the woman, both of them have committed an abomination, that shall surely be put to death, their blood shall be upon them. Very common in this society, all over the internet, you know, all everywhere, you know. I believe when you look up the statistics, I think that gay pornography is like the second most popular form of porn outside of the fucking interracial shit, you know, fucking BBC porn. I think it's that stuff, and then it's the gay shit is like the top ones. I know a brother brought it out one time just to say like, yo, look how freaky these people are. Right, and if a man take a wife and her mother in this wickedness, they shall be burnt with fire, both he and they, that there be no wickedness among you. Right? A man and both women must be burnt to death. Right? It's wicked as hell. Right? You can't sleep with a woman, you know, a woman and then take her mother. Right? And if the mother has a husband, which is the daughter's father, that's like double adultery, right? So don't do that. Right? It's against the law. And even if she isn't married, you don't do that. It's against the law. If a man lie with beast, he shall surely put to death. He shall slay the beast. If any woman approach unto any beast and lie down there too, they shall kill the woman and the beast. And they shall surely be put to death. The blood shall be upon them. Yeah, I remember a brother made a video. I think it was on one Gabar. the elder brother out there, he made that video. He was like, hey, these Edomites, fucking dogs and shit. Like, these animals, they gotta die too, man. Some of these animals have been fucking fiddled and diddled, by these Edomites, man. Some of them will have to burn up here too and start out from scratch, in the kingdom, and then they'll, be able to flourish and be happy, I can't remember where I found it, but, it's prophesied that pretty much like the animals that are like carnivorous are gonna be vegan. They're not really gonna, they're not gonna kill each other no more. I know it's somewhere. It's in the one. Let's see if I can find it. Commentaries, and then I'll probably get ready to wrap it up. Drop it up here. It's not this. Yeah, so Isaiah 11 and verse 6, and righteousness, or verse 5. And righteousness, see here, just make a quick understanding. Well, it's talking about Yahushua, so they don't have to go into that. Verse 6, and the wolf also shall dwell with the lamb, and the leopard shall lie down with the kid, the calf and the young lion, the fatling and the young child, and the young lion and the fatling together, and the little child shall lead them. Right, so they're not going to kill each other, and they're not going to have, the Lord's going to have that fear upon the animals. Once again, they're not going to harm, the young of our people, so, children will play with animals, we'll be able to, have control of the animals. The animals aren't going to, attack us and everything, they'll be refreshed. The child and the bear shall feed, and the young one shall lie down together, and the lion shall eat straw like the ox, right? So lion ain't gonna be, trying to nom 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 nom, us, like they do, right now. That's why, we don't, see us in the, walk around looking for lions and shit, because you don't want to get nommed on, like Attack on Titan. First, Leviticus 20:16, if any woman, if a woman approach unto any beast and lie down there too, thou shalt kill the woman and the beast, they shall surely be put to death, their blood shall be upon them. If a man shall take his sister, his father's daughter, or his mother's daughter, right, see her nakedness, and she sees nakedness, is a wicked thing, they shall be cut off in the sight of the people. He hath uncovered his sister's nakedness, he shall bear his iniquity. Right, so they'll be cut off. Let me see here, right? If a man lie with a woman having a sickness, shall cover nakedness, he hath discovered her fountain, she hath uncovered the fountain of her blood. Both of them shall be cut off from among their people. Right, and thou shalt not uncover the nakedness of thy mother's sister, nor of thy father's sister, for he hath covered his near kin, they shall bear his iniquity. Right, so whether your mother's sister or your father's sister, right? If a man shall lie with his uncle's wife, he hath uncovered his uncle's nakedness, they shall bear their sin, they shall die childless. Right? If a man shall take his brother's wife, his unclean thing, he has uncovered his brother's nakedness, they shall be childless. Right, and that's if there's a law about that too. If you have a brother, and say your brother has a woman and he died, or he lay with that woman, you're supposed to lie with your brother's wife, your widowed brother's wife so that she can have a child by you, and then you name that child after the deceased brother so that his name be not cut off. Right? And that's righteous. Right? But we don't, obviously you're not going to do that in this society. Of course not. But it's just important to look into these things, so that we know, just kind of have that right mindset in general, that we're living in a world where the law is not flourishing right now. But certain things aren't going to apply in the kingdom, like that's not going to apply in the kingdom, because none of us are going to die. He said, therefore, keep my statutes, and all my judgments, and do them. The land where I bring you to dwell, spew you not out, right? Because if you don't do it, according to the Lord's will, the land will spew you out, right? That's why Esau is not, flourishing in this land, or flourishing anywhere, man. And we're not flourishing in this land, right? So, no one's flourishing really, anywhere, in this world ran by Edomites, man, where the wicked bears rule the people mourn. You should not walk in the manners of the nation which I cast out before you, for they committed all these things, and therefore I abhorred them. So that's all these things, laying with animals, fucking their mom and the daughter, being gay. Fuck it, say it. I said it. Right? All these nations have this shit. Being bald, it's not in here. Right? All these things the scripture tells us not to do, these nations do. Right? And that's the duality. What they do, we don't do. Right? And, in other words, what they don't do, we do. Listen unto you, shall inherit the land, and I will give it to you to possess a land full of milk and honey. I am the Lord your power, which has separated you from other people. You shall therefore put differences between clean beasts and unclean, between unclean fowls and clean. You should not make your souls abominable by beast or by fowl, or by any manner of living thing that creepeth upon the ground, which I have separated from you and clean. Right? So you have animals that are clean and unclean, right? And then you have certain animals that are, I don't want to say kosher, but I think it's kashar in the Hebrew. Like you have for Pesach, you have certain, what it says you can eat. It was like a male goat or a male lamb, right? You're not really supposed to eat, the female, right? It's not kashar, it's not kosher for Pesach. Right, but obviously my righteousness is filthy lambs. You go to the store and you buy, your lambs. You don't really know what you get. Unfortunately, unless you go to a butcher yourself, you know where to go and how to do all that stuff. Know what to ask for. And then be my guest. If you even have a butcher by you, you shall be holy unto me, for I am the Lord. Holy has separated you from other people, that ye should be mine. Right? The Lord chose us. Right? He doesn't know any other nation. Right? But in the scripture says, I've called you by my name. Right? So it doesn't know any other nation. Right? I meant also, or a man, also a woman that hath a familiar spirit, or that is a wizard, shall surely put to death. They shall stone them with stones, their blood shall be upon them. Right? You put them to death, you put them down. Right? That's heavy, especially with Judah. They be doing that shit on YouTube. It's fucking wicked as hell, man. About all the tribes be doing that shit. Levi's deep into it. Simeon's deep into it, and Santeria and all that madness. Ephraim is into it. They're all into it. They're all into this fucking witchcraft, man. Man, woman, fuck, man. Don't even get me started. It's the nations, man. They all got their own little goofy ass rituals. Moabites putting damn oranges on the floor. Like, what the fuck is that even supposed to do? I'm gonna let that be that. Lord, edify and I say shalom.